This is Korea News for May 18, 2022. The action movie Crime City 2 starring Ma Dong-seok recorded the highest number of pre-orders for a Korean movie since Parasite in 2019. According to the Integrated Computer Network for Movie Theater Tickets on the 18th, the number of pre-orders for Crime City 2 recorded 32,876 as of 7 a.m. on the same day. The real-time reservation rate for Crime City 2 reached 75.1%. This is the best record among Korean films released since the COVID-19 pandemic. With this, Crime City 2 surpassed the blockbuster Marvel movie Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Chaos, and climbed to the top spot. On this day, the number of pre-sale audiences and the reservation rate for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Great Chaos recorded 51,535 and 12.1%, respectively. Song Ha, a 92-year-old music program host, announced her intention to leave KBS's longevity music program National Singing Contest due to health problems. According to a broadcaster on the 17th, Song Ha, who has recently been in poor health, told the production team, "Isn't it difficult to host National Singing Contest?" He seems to have made this decision while contemplating whether he will be able to handle long-distance travel ahead of the local field recording that will be held from next month. National Singing Contest continued on-site recording for 2 years due to the corona pandemic, and continued broadcasting in a special format that combines studio shots with past broadcasts. Although the production team has not confirmed Song Ha's departure, it is said that they are looking for a successor with various possibilities. Song Ha is currently hospitalized at Asan Medical Center in Seoul due to health problems and is undergoing examination and treatment. This time, Korean Film sent 2 films to the Cannes finals. They are Decision to Break Up and Broker. Decision to Break Up is directed by Park Chan-wook and stars actors Tang Wei and Park Ha-il, with Lee Young-hyun, Park Young-woo, and Go Kyung-pyo. If a foreign actor appears in Decision to Break Up, The Broker is directed by a foreign director. Korean actors such as Song Kang-ho, Kang Dong-won, Lee Do-eun, Lee I-yu, and Lee Ju-young appeared in the film and directed by Japanese director Korita Hirokazu. Decision to Break Up follows the psychological turmoil that develops as the suspicion of a detective who puts the wife of a man who fell from the top of a mountain as a suspect turns into interest. It raises curiosity about how director Park Chan-wook portrayed the process of a suspect hiding the truth and a detective trying to uncover the truth, forgetting their duties and being attracted to each other, and what led to the decision to break up. Expectations are high because it is Park Chan-wook, who showed a breathtaking psychological warfare through the push-and-pull truth game through the American movie Stalker and the British drama Little Drummer Girl. According to Statistics Korea data released in 2020, the top 10 causes of death for Koreans are cancer, cardiovascular disease, pneumonia, diabetes, dementia, liver disease, and high blood pressure. There are many chronic diseases that are often called adult diseases. In addition, fractures and loss of vision are threatening the life of the middle-aged. If you regularly consume nutrients that help with these major diseases, you can reduce your risk. On the 17th, President Yoon Suk-yeol appointed Han Dong-hoon, former vice president of the Judicial Research and Training Institute, the most strongly opposed by the Democratic Party of Korea, as the Minister of Justice for the formation of the cabinet. It has been 34 days since he was selected as surprised on April 13. As the opposition from the Democratic Party intensifies, it is predicted that the government will enter a cooling phase again. However, President Yoon also postponed the appointment of Chung Ho-young as Minister of Health and Welfare on the same day. Candidate Ho Young-jong is the last remaining ministerial candidate except for the Ministry of Education, where the candidate voluntarily resigned. The office of the president's spokesperson said in a press release on the afternoon that President Yoon approved the nomination of candidate Han Dong-hoon. President Yoon also appointed Minister of Gender Equality and Family Kim Hyun-suk along with Minister Han Dong-hoon. With this, the appointment of the ministers of 16 ministries, excluding the Ministry of Health and Welfare and the Ministry of Education, was completed among 18 ministries. President Yoon asked the National Assembly to resend a report on the progress of the ministers' personnel hearings by the 16th, but the National Assembly did not respond. If the National Assembly does not respond to the request for retransmission, the President may appoint a candidate to the minister ex officio from the day after requesting the National Assembly for a report on the progress of personnel hearings on the minister. Kaksin, an economic media outlet, reported on the 13th that the situation of CATL, the number 1 battery for electric vehicles in China, and BID, the no. The key factor is whether the cost of raw materials can be passed on to the price of finished vehicles. According to the China Electric Vehicle Industry Technology Innovation Strategy Federation, which consists of Chinese automakers, parts, and universities, CATL's market share in the Chinese new energy vehicle battery market reached 52.1% last year, but fell below 50% this year. In April, its share fell to 38%. On the other hand, BID's market share, which ranked second, rose from 16.2% last year to 33% in April. Last year, CATL was 3 times that of BID, but in April, the gap narrowed to just 5 percentage points. On March 21, China Eastern Airlines, a passenger plane that crashed with 132 passengers and crew on board, was a disaster caused by the intention of the pilot. The Wall Street Journal reported on the 17th, citing a source, that the U.S. investigative authorities have made this preliminary conclusion about the crash of the Eastern Airlines MU-5735 airliner. The accident occurred in the mountainous area of Wuzhou City, Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, while an Eastern Airlines flight was on its way from Kunming to Guangzhou. The plane fell vertically at a speed of 1,000 km per hour, shattering itself and killing all passengers on board. China's aviation authorities released a preliminary report on April 20, but there was no explanation as to the cause of the accident. The accident occurred when the plane entered the Guangzhou control area and received a departure warning from the control tower and attempted to communicate, but there was no response. Rumors of the pilot's intentional crash were circulating even before the release of the preliminary report. In response, the Civil Aviation Administration of China denounced baseless speculation seriously misleads the public and obstructs the investigation of the accident. U.S. investigative authorities, however, have not been able to determine whether the pilot was acting abnormally or whether the crash was caused by a terrorist attack by breaking into the cockpit. It is known that more than 60 cities in China have lifted restrictions on real estate this year. The Chinese government is trying to revive the real estate industry, but the market is still in a slump. Global Times, the state-run media, reported on the 6th that Dongguan City in Guangdong Province and Cuzhou City in Zhejiang Province have started permitting housing purchases to outside hukou, or other family registers, from this month. As a socialist country, China is implementing the strong hookah system as a means of controlling its people. It is very difficult to change the hukou inherited from parents, and various restrictions are imposed, such as mandatory elementary, middle, and high school attendance in one's own hukou area. In principle, real estate should be purchased in the hukou area. China Real Estate Information, a real estate market analysis company, predicted that the policies of Dongguan and Cuzhou were in accordance with the government's policy to stimulate the real estate market, and that other cities would take similar measures. The Chinese Communist Party and the government launched strong regulations last year, believing that excessive increases in house prices would widen the gap between the rich and the poor and even lower the birth rate. Banks have imposed limits on the amount of real estate-related loans. Real estate developers have also introduced the 3 red lines that restrict new loans depending on the debt situation. As a result, in the second half of last year, 10 real estate companies, including Hengda Group, the second largest company, fell into default, and the market fell sharply. An analysis showed that North Korea is continuing to restore the Punggye-ri nuclear test site despite the difficulties caused by the coronavirus pandemic. In a report on the 17th, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, an American think tank, said in a report on the 17th that, based on satellite images taken that day, continuous activities were taking place near the third nuclear test site in Punggye-ri, Giljagun, North Hamgyong Province. The U.S. State Department had predicted that North Korea would conduct its 7th nuclear test as early as this month. Meanwhile, CNN reported on the same day, citing a U.S. intelligence official, that North Korea appears to be preparing to test fire an intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM within the next 48 to 96 hours as U.S. President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit Asia. Thank you for watching today. Please like and subscribe.